Hi everybody. I'm gonna explain how you guys can work with the simulator that we have online. It's a really cool tool because you can put different kinds of things that go on during the membrane for the membrane potentials, and you can actually see what would happen or predict what would happen in actual real membrane. A lot of neurophysiology is based on simulation. Um, Actually, the a lot of the end product of neuroethology is artificial intelligence. So if we understand how brains work in specific animals, sometimes we can actually apply that knowledge and make robots that interpret certain information and establish behavioral outcomes as an actual living, animal. And a lot of these has actually been done. There's a robo cockroach. There's a robo lobster. And because cockroaches have relatively simple nervous systems, lobsters also have very, not simple, but very accessible nervous systems. So if you can establish a neural circuit in a living animal and then actually translate that into an like a coding program or an electrical paradigm, then you can actually create a robot that simulates basically normal animal behavior and normal animal decision making. But we're going to probably end up looking at artificial intelligence towards the end of the course. But simulation is a great way to understand electrophysiology because sometimes electrophysiology is pretty dry. Like, I'm not going to lie. I love it, but it can be boring at some point. But if you start playing along with it and kind of understanding what's going on during the membrane, it's actually really fascinating to understand what happens at a cellular level to establish such complex behaviors that, we can see in human beings, okay? So to kind of get a grasp on how ions work and how they move across the membrane, we have this great simulator. I use it all the time. I think it's a wonderful tool for students to apply their previous knowledge, okay? So you go to the website that I gave you in the link for in the Word document for the homework. You go to that link and then you just push launch now. And basically you go to that website again, and then we have the simulator. So the simulator is pretty cool. What we have here is we have potassium. So we have the four tabs that we can work with is NERST, NERST at 37 degrees, Goldman, and Goldman at 37 degrees, right? I prefer working at an established temperature. There will be a question in the homework where you work with a non-established temperature just so that you can see how temperature affects neuronal messaging. But if you go to NERST at 37 degrees, we don't worry about temperature. You can't even choose temperature to change. But what you can see is concentration of potassium outside, concentration of potassium inside the cell. And then you can click on sodium. Sodium, you also have sodium outside versus sodium inside. And then you can go to chloride and see concentration of chloride outside versus concentration of chloride inside. You can see the gradient concentrations. Basically, they're pretty standard. What I want you to see is here at the bottom, they give you basically like presets of what cells you can analyze. And so you can go to default, which is the one that we're looking at now. You can also go to a generic cell or skeletal muscle that will have a little bit differences when it comes to membrane potentials. The homework is going to be about squid axon specifically because it's going to be the first animals that we look at are going to be marine invertebrates. So it's important for you to understand kind of what are the concentration gradients in these specific animals and how they're different from what we would refer to as default. But in under the default tab, you can go to the different ions. You can see the concentration gradient of potassium and sodium. You can change these concentration gradients. You can go make them outside more. This is basically the same concentration inside and out. How does that affect the NERST potential of potassium? You can do the same thing with sodium. Maybe we can go here. And if you equalize these guys, how does that change their Nernst potential for sodium? And so this is just going back to the Nernst potentials. If you want to go back, like if you changed these little tabs and you can't really go back to exactly 10, then just go down here to default and then you'll get all the presets back. So the homework has different situations that you guys are going to change. So every time you go back to normal settings, you can just go back here, go to default, and then we get all this established again. Okay. When we do Goldman at 37 degrees, so as you know, Goldman is a membrane potential. It's not, it's based on permeabilities of the ions plus their Nernst potentials. So here, this is the equation, and you get the membrane potential for that membrane. Here, what you can see is we can change permeabilities. What we can't do with Nernst, right? Nernst, we can't move permeabilities because Nernst doesn't take into consideration permeabilities, because basically Nernst is giving us the equilibrium potential for a specific ion. Goldman, on the other hand, is taking into consideration permeability of a specific ion plus its concentration gradients or its equilibrium potentials, right? So here we can change the permeabilities. We can increase permeability to sodium, we can decrease permeability to potassium, and then see what happens to their equilibrium potentials. But more importantly, what happens to the membrane potential and how changing permeabilities will actually change the membrane potential. Once again, if you change this, say whatever, you can see how it changes here, and then this switches to custom. If you go back to default, you get your presettings again. So this is a quick way for you to change between your different settings. So it's basically just an intro video on how to use the simulator, on what information the simulator is going to give you, and the purpose of the homework is for you guys to play around with the simulator, answer specific questions, but more importantly than to answer the questions and get the exact perfect answer, what I want is for you to get an answer and to be able to defend that answer, right? Oh, my equilibrium potential becomes more negative. Why does it become more negative? Because blah, 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 because you already have a really strong basis in cellular physiology. I do expect you guys to be able to explain why you get the answer you get. And just from the top of your head, you shouldn't have to be able to, you shouldn't have to research why you get that answer. I mean, if you have to, that's fine. There's great physiology books that any textbook will be able to explain the answer. But these are things that you should know and that you should basically know how to explain, because during this 8-week course, we are going to be coming back to this constantly. So these are things and concepts that you need to understand. If you have to research them now, that's fine because it's week 1. And if you're rusty on your electrophysiology, that's absolutely fine. Go back, read a couple of chapters on electrophysiology or cellular physiology, and once you get doing the homework, it should be getting your mind thinking about these specific situations, because behavior will be dependent on different things such as permeabilities and cellular situations. Okay.